Friend to all children and guardian of the universe, welcome to the Gamera franchise reviews! What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeekMixer here to give you guys my review on the second installment to the Gamera franchise series, Gamera vs.Barugon, or is also known as War of the Monsters. Why do they always mess with the titles when it comes to these things, especially when they come over here to the West? Why can't they just keep them the same? I don't know, but whatever. I always look at it as Barugon versus Gamera. Nothing else more than that. But guys, this was an actually interesting take to the second entry to Gamera, especially when it came to the fact of what the Gamera franchise came to be known as. As we know, Gamera franchises, it came to be known that there was always going to be a child protagonist in the film, but in this film they went in the opposite direction. There was no child protagonist in this film whatsoever. It was all nothing but with adult content, and you would think maybe that's would lead the film to being down, since it's not what it's known for when it came to the franchise. But hey, this was only the second installment, so you could kind of say they were experimenting a bit, especially when they brought in a different director with this one. I forget his name off the top of my head, and I apologize for that, but one thing's for certain is that this film still did good, even though it didn't have a child protagonist, because for one, while Gamera and Barugon didn't really fight that much, the few times they did fight wasn't actually too bad. It might have been a bit short in some aspects, but it didn't do too bad, especially when it comes to the technology and puppetry and all that stuff that they were using back in the 1960s, because this was made back in 1966 if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, when it comes to some of the rubber animal suits or monster suits or the puppet suits they were using when it came to those two fighting, it actually did pretty good. And I also definitely loved the special effects they did when Barugon was attacking the city, such as in the fact when as he's attacking the city, he's revealing some abilities of his. One such in fact is not only can he stretch out his tongue like a frog, but also he is able to shoot freeze breath out of it. And then there's his surprise weapon of all that the military didn't expect when they were trying to attack him from a long distance range to where the tongue wouldn't be able to reach him or his breath. And that is that's right, guys. He shoots rainbows from his spines. Pretty crazy, isn't it? I mean, a rainbow from the spine? I mean, I've never seen anything like that, but hey, it's effective, and if it's effective, it ain't broke, then don't fix it. That's what I say. And definitely don't fix it. But it definitely also played a big role at the end of the film on how the humans used that against, or better yet, let's just say the military used that against him. And boy, when it was used against him, it was used against him in a brutal way, might I add. Not exactly brutal as in saying that they bashed him or anything, but I'll get into that when we get to the ending of this here. Because first off, I want to talk about the fact that since there wasn't much of Gamera and Barugon in this film, it was mostly about the humans in this film. But before I do that, let me just tell y'all, they did explain to us what happened after Gamera was sent into space. Since this is a direct sequel to Barugon the Giant Monster, it showed us that a meteorite crashed on the ship that he was on, which caused him to land back on Earth. But Japan somehow, I guess, just decided to now ignore him and stuff, since I guess he wasn't causing too much trouble. But when Barugon showed up, yep, that's when he decided to make his move, because as we know with Gamera, he's drawn to light source energy since he's a creature of fire and stuff. I still find it strange though, a turtle that can breathe fire. What's up with that right there? I don't know, but I'm not complaining. I still think it's really cool, that's for sure. But yeah, but now having said that, the human plot of this really talks to you about greed and how greed can have major consequences, not just on you, but you can have it can make the world have major consequences, or a country or anything have major consequences, all because of your greediness. It actually can really explain why greed is one of the 7 deadly sins in this world. Because when we're introduced to the main character, Keizake, along with a group of 3 other people he's with, one of them being his brother, you can tell by just that first shot that you can see that these guys are just all about greed. Now bear in mind, it's in different aspects to each of them. Each of them are kind of being a bit greedy, only because they're trying to want to live out their dreams, help their families, or one's just greedy to the end, which we saw when it came to the main human antagonist named Onodara. But either way, moving straight on, they were going to an island on New Guinea, which housed what was believed to be a giant golden opal egg that was found by Kazake's brother. But unfortunately, as they soon found out, or better yet, unbeknownst to them actually, but later on found out, is that opal wasn't a golden opal. It was actually the egg of Barugon. But of course, since they didn't know that at first, and as you would expect, when you go exploring for something like gold or anything with a group of team, you should know that someone's going to betray you in the end. And that's exactly what happened, especially in the fact that they were already still showing their greediness, that before going to that cave, they visited the natives of the island, where we also met the female main role of the lead named Karen, who played by a very, very good looking woman, might I add. Now some of y'all may disagree with me, but hey, we've all got our taste in what we've all got our liking to women. It's all different and stuff. To me, this woman was fine. That's just me though. That's just me. But moving on, and they warned them not to go into it because it's called the Valley of Rainbow. Kind of funny how they say that, the Valley of Rainbow. Barugon, his weapon of the rainbow, makes sense right there. Either way, they warned them not to go there, but of course they don't listen. But either way, they weren't surprised. I don't think any of us can say we were surprised when I said the main human antagonist, Onodari, betrayed the 2 men he was with, Gizage and another guy, as he let one of them die to a scorpion, and the other one he tried to cave inside the cave. And boy, did he try desperately, after getting back to a boat that took him to New Guinea, to desperately hide the egg. Anytime in the sick bay, he was being visited by people. But this is where things got crazier, because it turns out that, according to Karen, the main lead role from New Guinea, who eventually comes back to Japan when Barugon rises in Japan, says that he is supposed to take like 10 years to hatch and stuff, and that he's not supposed to be as big as the Barugon we come to know. Why is that? All because of an infrared light that was shining on the Barugon egg that allowed it to grow to abnormal size. And then when he soon came into the picture, boy, did he just cause all destruction. This is where it went into the first round of Barugon versus Gamera. And yeah, fight was kind of effy at first, but like I said, when we look at things in the 1960s and stuff, they were only doing with what they can. But when it comes to that and stuff, compared to when we look at some other movies, monster movies that were made back then, this one felt kind of stale in some spots. But it didn't bring away from the film, because I definitely love the fact that with Barugon, he has that freeze weapon, and that's Gamera's weakness, low temperature weapons. And that got to Gamera as he was frozen solid when Barugon's frozen breath was on him. But boy, did I love this one scene where Gamera was playing possum to get Barugon close to him, and then oh, what a sucker punch! Man, that's what I call a sucker punch. And man, because seriously, he made that punch and he just almost busted Barugon's eye open. I mean, he nearly got his eye, but still made that made that monster started bleeding purple blood and stuff. Just ugh. But still, what a nice shot by Barugon for a last-ditch effort before he was frozen, and Barugon kept moving on. Now, the thing with the human plot of things is Karen, as I mentioned earlier, came back with Kisuke to Kazake to Japan to try to help the people of Japan in defeating Barugon when she brought a 6K diamond, which was supposed to be used to lure him into water, since that's what Barugon's weakness is, water. Unfortunately, since he had grown to a normal size due to radiation, they needed to amplify it up, which they did. Unfortunately, though, this is when things just went downhill. They were doing so great until the main human antagonist, Odo, who had lost the opal, and even though was told it was actually an egg, he was in denial of it, saying that, oh please, that's not true, don't give me that nonsense. And then when he hears about that 6-carat diamond that Karen brings back, he's only obsessed with that he even ruins the operation that's trying to save a country. Yes, he actually did that. But this is where it showed where the guy's greed cost him, as yep, the fool was eaten alive, and so was the diamond. All hope seemed lost there. This showed how the stupidity of human greed got to this guy. Whereas with Kisuke, he realized how his stupidity of thinking about greed had caused such a calamity, and he was actually showing remorse and wanted to make up for it. See, this is why this is a good movie. It shows the greediness of men, but how one will realize how stupid he was being, while the other one is just so obsessed with himself that he doesn't care about anything but the money. It's sad, right? Oh man, but it's not like we haven't seen like any of this before in other kaiju films, mind you. But either way, this is where things started to get more into the plot of where I told you guys the rainbow weapon played against Barugon at the end of this film. Because as y'all know, rainbows are like light, and light reflects through mirrors. That's one of Barugon's weakness. So the military makes a satellite out of mirrors, and they use that to get Barugon to shoot the ray that oh yeah, that was nasty, guys. I'll admit, it was gruesome right there, because man, did that monster started shooting out all sorts of purple blood on its back. And it was during that time that Gamera came back to life, I guess you could say, as he was being finally thawed out. And this is where it led into this interesting battle. One such part was this, Barugon using his flying skills with his shell to just hurl that Barugon all the way over to that bridge and landing right in the ocean, until it finally came to a spot where Gamera grabbed Barugon and started sinking him into the water. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, when I saw that part, I was actually feeling a little sympathy for Barugon, because seriously, that's a gruesome way to go out, especially with all that blood that he had already taken damage from, and in the fact that now being sunken into the water, he's just dying and all that blood showing. Ugh, nasty. But still, that's what the movie was. And guys, this is why I liked it, because it showed the greatness of the consequences of human greed, and how one will realize how stupid he was being and wants to make up for it and try to be a better person, while the other one just wants nothing but the money, doesn't care about anyone but himself, doesn't even care that his own land's in danger, that people are dying. That is sad right there, but I also love the fight. They may have been short, Barugon and Gamera's battle, but it definitely had some meaningful moments to it, such as the ones I showed you. Definitely a good movie. Love the second entry. It had me really intrigued and makes me get excited more as I continue on with Gamera Revision! But that'll be all for today, guys. And hey, if you're enjoying my videos, all you gotta do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, MegaGeekMixer signing out. Bye!